Police eye over 1,000 troublemakers for GE14. Lorry driver claimed trial in death of 4 Singaporeans. You're watching the evening edition of News On 2. I'm Adrian Seat. Police have identified over 1,000 suspects capable of inciting trouble during the upcoming 14th general election. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said the surprise attacks can be in the form of potential fake news that might spread during the elections, the existence of phantom voters and supposedly Daesh militant group attacks.
Ini bukan satu ugutan, ini normal proses. Maknanya kalau perlu bertindak, kita ada pasukan cantas yang daripada CID ini akan memantau kedudukan keselamatan di seluruh negara. Kalau mereka perlu bertindak dan saya akan bagi arahan untuk bertindak kalau ada individu ni.
Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi said several hotspots had been identified as potential locations for outbreaks of unrest during the polls. He pointed out that there are 116 hotspots in the peninsula and 33 in Sabah and Sarawak. He was speaking at the press conference after attending the meeting for the state police chiefs, commissioners and commandants in Kuala Lumpur today. A lorry driver pleaded not guilty to causing the death of 4 Singaporeans in an accident on January the 3rd at the Port Dickson Magistrates Court today. According to the charge sheet, the accused, Mani Perithambi, 54, lost control of his lorry while it was going downhill and crashed into the other vehicles at 2:30 p.m. along the Lukut Sepang T junction. The accident caused the deaths of Rosli Samad, 53, and Maimunah Sapari, 50, and their 2 daughters, Nora Amalina Rosli, 21, and Diana Sarah Rosli, 19, who were pinned below the lorry in the fatal crash. The accused is charged under Section 41, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987, Subsection Act 333, and can be charged under the same act. The sentence carries a maximum of 10 years jail sentence and a maximum fine of 20,000 ringgit, not less than 5,000 ringgit. Magistrate Siti Khairia Abdul Razak allowed an 8,000 ringgit bail for each charge and suspended the accused's driving license. Case mention has been set for April the 16th. In the incident, the lorry, which was heading towards Sepang, Selangor, lost control and rammed into 3 cars plus a motorcycle at the traffic lights at the T junction. Perak police have busted the Vios Putih and Jimmy gangs involved in homes and school break-ins around Ipoh, Perak after the arrest of 13 individuals in a raid codenamed Ops Pintu since March the 12th. State Criminal Investigation Chief Senior Assistant Commissioner Yahya Abdul Rahman believe that they have managed to solve 43 break-in cases involving a loss of 440,000 ringgit since January. The first arrest was of 4 individuals from the Vios Putih group, which consisted of 2 men aged 27 and 30 and 2 Vietnamese women at a house near Desa Cemor Permai at 3:30 p.m. on March the 12th, while 3 others were arrested in Pasir Putih, Perak and Kuala Lumpur.
Kita dapati kumpulan ini terlibat dalam kejadian pecah rumah ni di kawasan Taman Risah, Taman Risah, Bercam, Simpang Pulai, Mengelembu, Kampung Tawas, Ampang Baru, Tambun, Pasir Putih dan Kampung Rapat. Ini adalah kawasan operasi diorang ni. Dan kita juga percaya diorang ni ada juga melakukan di negeri lain.
Meanwhile, 6 other suspects, including 2 women between the ages of 22 to 28 from the Jimmy group believed to have been involved in several school break-ins, were arrested on March 14th, 15th and the 16th. Police also seized various items used for break-ins during the raid. The case is now being investigated under Section 457 of the Penal Code for break-ins and Section 411 of the Penal Code for owning stolen items. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi is planning to establish a Technical and Vocational Education and Training or TVET Council as a way of proving the government's commitment in ensuring that the policy set for TVET Malaysia achieve its goal. The Deputy Premier, who volunteered to chair the council, said that it is to coordinate the TVET program and so that it will be recognised by a specific body.
Ketika ini kita hanya berada kira-kira 28% saja pencapaian dalam kemahiran dalam guna tenaga di Malaysia, sedangkan negara-negara maju ditentukan bahawa kita harus mencapai ke tahap 43%. Maka saya telah mencadangkan supaya Majlis TVET Malaysia diwujudkan.
Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said this after launching the Expo TVET 2018 at the Putra World Trade Center today. He said one of the elements which needs to be upgraded is ensuring that graduates from TVET are able to meet the requirements set from various industries. Meanwhile, he said that the proposal for the minimum wage for TVET graduates to be increased to 3,500 ringgit will help produce more local high-skilled manpower in line with the government's goal of achieving 43% local talents by year 2030. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid said that graduates from TVET should be given the opportunity to pursue higher education for their career advancement.
Mereka mesti juga diberi peluang untuk memasuki universiti teknikal supaya mereka memperoleh diploma, ijazah dan ijazah selanjutnya berdasarkan kepada kursus-kursus yang ditawarkan, agar ada kombinasi di antara paper qualification dengan experience yang ada, dan tentulah jika kombinasi kedua-dua ini dapat dilakukan, maka kelulusan TVET akan berada di tahap profesional.
The Deputy Premier said the additional education will help create professional individuals who can be easily absorbed into the job market. Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak today said he had always given serious attention to the interests of Sabahans and the development of the state since becoming the Prime Minister. He said he was the first Prime Minister to have made the unprecedented appointment of 7 leaders from Sabah to the federal cabinet, apart from paying attention to the development of the state. Now, he said he was different from a previous Prime Minister who, despite being in power for 22 years, paid little attention to Sabah.
Saya kira dalam masa lebih kurang 8 tahun ini, saya telah melawat lebih kerap daripada seorang yang menjadi Perdana Menteri 22 tahun.
He said in his speech while taking a closer look at the Jalan Telipo Kulu Randagong Highway in Kampong Puka. Dato Sri Najib said that what he did for Sabah and the country was not for his own interests, but for the purpose of taking Sabah and the country forward to a more developed level. On the latest allocations approved for the Tuaran Parliamentary Constituency, he said 2.2 million ringgit had been approved for mosques and suraus and 2.5 million ringgit for a hall of the St. John's Church Tuaran. He said he would also upgrade 22 kilometers of road in the Tuaran Parliamentary Constituency and provide allocations for a survey of customary land during the term of the new government after the general election. Coming up next, Malaysia Airlines may fly again to the United States and France. That story in a moment. Be affected with the United States' proposal to impose a 25% tariff rate on the import of steel and 10% on imported aluminium, as its exports to America accounted for only 1 to 2% of its total exports. International Trade and Industry Minister Dato Sri Mustafa Mohamad said the sanctions would, however, have a huge impact on other countries.
Walaupun kecil tu bimbang takut benda ni takut trade war, countermeasures. Okey, Amerika buat ni, Jepun buat, Korea buat, maka ia akan menyekat pasaran. Although bagi Malaysia impact is small, tapi for the world is huge. For other countries is huge.
Dato Sri Mustafa said if trade retaliation were to take place, the country's solar manufacturing industry could be affected, as it is the world's third largest producer of photovoltaic cells and modules, which is 8% of the global output. He said this after officiating the Showcase on Innovation for Productivity 2018 in Kuala Lumpur today. US President Donald Trump had earlier expressed his intention to impose tariffs on imports of steel and aluminium this week. This measure is expected to increase pressure on China. Malaysia Airlines may fly again to the United States and Paris. Malaysia Airlines Berhad Group Chief Executive Officer, Captain Isham Ismail, said flights to both countries would resume anytime soon, depending on the network growth achieved by the national carrier.
Currently, these 2 years, I'm making it very slow, 3 to 4%. And if Malaysia Airlines successfully turn around, then only will grow slightly more rapid, 4 to 5%.
Malaysia Airlines suspended flights to Los Angeles, the only metropolis in the United States to receive services from Kuala Lumpur via Tokyo in 2014, and also stopped flying to Paris in 2016. Speaking at the Malaysia Airlines brand campaign ceremony today, Captain Isham said Malaysia Airlines has also increased its frequencies to Seoul and will resume the Brisbane route in June. Meanwhile, Malaysia Airlines gave a sneak preview of its brand new campaign at its newly refurbished Golden Lounge at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport today. The introduction of the Malaysian hospitality campaign will see Malaysia Airlines releasing a new TV commercial in the coming weeks in print ads and outdoors, as well as across social media platforms. Water supply approval for 761 new projects in Selangor involving 467 million litres of water has been held back since January. Addressing the Dewan Rakyat, Urban Wellbeing, Housing and Local Government Minister Tan Sri Noor Omar said of the total, about 40% or 305 projects are related to apartments and terrace houses.
Memang jelas sekali lah bahawa Yang Berhormat Perdana Menteri mengatakan Selangor sedang menghadapi kritikal air, tetapi Menteri Besar Selangor dia tak mau terima kenyataan. Malah beliau juga ego, tak tahu beza di antara air di Ampangan dengan air terawat.
Commenting further, Tan Sri Noor acknowledged that the ministry also received complaints from unhappy developers as they were forced to apply for an extension of time or EOT to avoid getting fined due to the water crisis in Selangor. Punishment by caning should be the last resort to curb disciplinary cases amongst school students. Deputy Education Minister Datuk P. Kamalanathan said this is consistent with standard operating procedures designed for schools to manage the discipline of students. The Deputy Minister said the act of caning should not be exercised arbitrarily and it depends on the student's degree of violation of discipline.
Di Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia memang menjadi tanggungjawab pengetua, guru besar dan guru-guru untuk memaklumkan kepada ibu bapa sebelum tindakan ini diambil. Oleh kerana itu kita ada 3 proses. Proses pertama amaran. Dalam amaran adalah apabila pengetua dan guru besar berpendapat jenis salah laku kelakuan mereka adalah kurang wajar dikenakan hukuman yang lebih berat, maka ada amaran. Lepas proses amaran tu akan ada proses dendanya. Dan selepas proses denda tu ada penahanan. Selepas proses-proses ini selesai, baru ada hukuman rotan.
Speaking at the Dewan Rakyat, Datuk P. Kamalanathan explained that the students' involvement in 10 different types of misconduct are under control at 0.025%. About 674 ongoing programs will be fully implemented by year's end by the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry. This will involve a collaborative network between the other ministries, departments, corporate agencies and non-governmental organizations. Now, amongst the highlights of these programs are to abolish violence against women, literature on law, and the National Transformation TN50 for Women's program. Women, Family and Community Development Minister Datuk Sri Rohani Abdul Karim said that the government has always been committed to increase the roles and raise the dignity of women to a high level in line with the Empower Women Year 2018 program.
70% wanita kita berada di universiti. Jadi 70% ini sebenarnya akan flow pasaran pekerjaan. Itu satu. Kedua, kalau mereka pun tak mau bekerja atau selepas bekerja selalunya wanita lah yang selalu mengambil keputusan untuk memulakan keluarga kan, tetapi dia berada di rumah pun bagi saya dia boleh menjana pendapatan. Kadang-kadang sekarang ni bisnes online.
Speaking at the Dewan Rakyat, Datuk Sri Rohani also said her ministry is in progress of collecting data on visions and aspirations from women towards the goals of TN50 and will be handed over to the Prime Minister by year's end. The Public Accounts Committee, or PAC, recommends the government to review the monitoring system and mechanism of subsidized cooking oil more effectively. Additionally, it suggests that the cooperation between ministries, departments and agencies in implementing enforcement should also be improved so that no leakage occurs. In a statement, the committee said it wants the monitoring to be done through enforcement between ministries, department, agencies and non-profit organizations in order to avoid a shortage of cooking oil in the market. They are also required to ensure the cooking oil quota is granted to eligible entrepreneurs. Moreover, PAC supports the government's decision for the Domestic Trade, Cooperatives and Consumerism Ministry, or KPDN-KK, to take over the management of cooking oil subsidies from the Ministry of Plantation, Industries and Commodities, or MPIC, as cooking oil is under the jurisdiction of KPDN-KK. The issue was amongst the National Audit Department's findings presented in Parliament on November the 21st of 2016. The Dewan Rakyat was today told that the motion on the Election Commission's redelineation exercise will only be tabled for its first reading next Wednesday, stymieing expectations that it will be tabled today, although Speaker Tan Sri Pandika Amin Mulia allowed lawmakers to bring it out of the Dewan Rakyat. However, they must respect the embargo on the much-anticipated report and are not allowed to share the information with anyone. Before the Dewan Rakyat session began this morning, Tan Sri Pandika Amin announced that the report had been placed on the tables of lawmakers, but then told MPs they are not allowed to read it until the embargo is lifted on March 28th. Once it has been debated and passed in the Dewan Rakyat, the motion on the proposed redelineation will be gazetted upon receiving the royal assent from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Muhammad V. The motion needs a simple majority of 111 lawmakers to be passed and does not have to go through the Senate to be debated and passed. The Dewan Rakyat has allocated this entire week for ministries to wrap up debates on the royal address. The Election Commission, or EC, has no power to pursue political parties to prematurely installing flags and banners ahead of the 14th general election. Its chairman, Tan Sri Muhammad Hashim Abdullah, said it was instead the responsibility of the local authorities to act against offenders. Tan Sri Muhammad Hashim said the powers allocated to the EC can only take effect during the official election period as stipulated under the Election Offences Act 1954. Now, the official campaign period only starts on the candidate nomination day and ends at midnight before polling day. Tan Sri Muhammad Hashim, however, is advising all parties to comply with the rules and regulations set by the local authorities and any other authorities. This is to ensure the safety and harmony of the local community. Still ahead, 18 killed in Thai bus crash. That story in this edition of News on 2. Now, top story. Police eye over 1,000 troublemakers for GE14. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon for more updates. I'm Adrian Seat. Thanks for watching.